Arab and Western powers agree Islamic State must be stopped in its deadly mission to carve out a caliphate in Iraq and Syria. But right now, the United States is going it alone against another terrorist group intent on Western targets rather than the Muslim world. Jim Spellman is live in our newsroom with more on this Khorosan group. Jim, this is the group the U.S. just targeted with solo airstrikes in Syria.
Yeah, very little has been made public about this group before last week, but U.S. authorities say they were plotting attacks in Europe and here in the United States.
As the world focused on the Islamic State, a smaller but potentially dangerous group has emerged, mentioned publicly by U.S. officials for the first time just last week.
This Khorasan group, so-called, which I guess is out there, is potentially yet another threat to the homeland.
Tuesday, the U.S. launched airstrikes against the group's compound west of Aleppo, Syria. The aftermath seen here. U.S. officials say the group, thought to number less than 100, was formed by elite members of al-Qaeda who traveled to Syria to take advantage of the instability created by the civil war and the foreign fighters who have flooded the region.
It's really not about the numbers. It's about the expertise they bring to the table, because these guys draw on the entire international network of al-Qaeda. If they can now draw on the foreign fighters that are present in Syria, that would indeed be an explosive combination.
The name Khorasan is a reference to historic Islamic lands in modern-day Iran, Afghanistan, and other parts of Central Asia. The group is led by Mushin al-Fadli, a veteran al-Qaeda financier linked to the September 11, 2001 attacks and other plots. The U.S. has a $7 million reward for information leading to his capture. Khorasan is thought to have enlisted the services of al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula's master bomb builder Ibrahim al-Asiri to develop new types of explosives.
They were on to a even more advanced non-metallic threat bomb that would be incredibly hard for the systems in place now to detect.
Those bombs could then be snuck onto airplanes, a perennial al-Qaeda target.
It's all about aviation. That's what they used for 9/11. They used it with Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, the underwear bomber. You know, they like big dramatic gestures, and taking down an aircraft is a big dramatic gesture.
U.S. officials say they needed to act against Khorasan now because the group was close to carrying out their plot.
It's unclear if the Khorasan group's plots have been disrupted. Once foreign fighters with Western passports leave Syria, they can be difficult to detect. So it's going to be some time, really, before they can get an assessment on whether they stop this group in time. And as you mentioned earlier, Ase, it's also unclear whether the group's leader has been killed or not. There are reports that that's the case, but no official confirmation yet.
All right, thank you, Jim Spellman.